In this video, I'll be showing you the if statement and what it is and exactly what it does. Stick around because these will add way more flexibility that you can use in your programs. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, this is Toxic Studios and I make learning game design easy. So if you're interested in that, consider going down below and subscribing and give this video a like. Alright, so the first thing we gotta do in order to use an if statement is we have to actually have a program. I forgot to mention in the video that I do have tutorials on how to actually set up a program, and I'll leave a link to that down in the description. Alright, back to the video. Alright, so I have a basic program set up. It just asks the user what is a number and stores that number as a variable. And so now what I want to do is I want to say two options. But let's say they enter a number greater than 100. I want to say that's a big number. Or if they enter a number less than 100, I want to say that's a small number. So in order to do this, we have to use what is known as an if statement. Now what an if statement does is it takes a condition and it applies that condition to its parameters and determines if it's true or false. If it's true, it'll go inside its statement, you can call it, inside the brackets, and it'll run that code. But if it's false, it will just skip over everything in those brackets and move on with the program. So an example of this is, say, if, and let's do answer is equal to 100. So here is the if statement. So if, here's our condition, answer is equal to 2 equals, means is equal to 100. So now if they type in 100, it'll come down in here in between these two brackets and run whatever we have in here. Right now we don't have anything, so it would basically do nothing. But I'm going to go ahead and change this to greater than or equal to 100. And inside the if statement, I am going to do cout that number is bigger than 100. Alright, so it will come in here if they enter a number greater than or equal to 100, and it will say that number is bigger or the same, I should say, or the same as 100. And then it'll run this, which it'll output that, but then it'll break out of this, and then it will say nothing. But I want it to say, I just want it to output their number. So just say answer, just like that. Alright, so now if we run this, what is a number? We can say 100. It will say that number is bigger or the same as 100. And you notice I didn't put a space there, so it's combining those, so it looks like one number. But that's not 100,000 and 100. That's that 100 and this 100. So if I go back to this, now you notice what it's doing is it asks what is a number. We enter it. It stores it as answer right here. It goes into this if, and it says, okay, answer is in fact greater than or equal to 100. So then with that, it goes inside the brackets and it does whatever's in here. So if we run it, and let's say I enter 1. See, all it does is it outputs what I enter, because that's all it knows, because answer is not greater than or equal to 100. Alright, so that basically wraps up this video, but I will go through one more loop of explaining this. So we have what is a number, which is getting a number. We have it getting the number from the user. We store it up here as answer. Then we say if, and then our parameters. So if answer is greater than or equal to 100. So if this is true, then it comes inside these two brackets and executes whatever code is in here. So it will say that number is bigger or the same as 100. And then it'll continue on outside of the brackets. Now, if the number is smaller or doesn't fit these parameters, then it will completely skip all of this and go straight down here to this. Alright, well, I hope this video was helpful on explaining if statements, and in the next video, I'll be explaining if-else and else-ifs, which are basically the same thing, but they add an extra component to our if statement that allows it to be even more flexible. So, with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, consider giving a like. And if you're interested in game design, alright, that wraps up this video. This is Toxic Studios, and I make learning game design easy. And in the next tutorial, I'll be covering else-ifs and else to go along with the if statement, which will allow the if statement to be even more flexible. So if you like this video, give it a like. If you're interested in learning game design and coding, consider subscribing.